A joyful parasite comes from like looking at life and like the pyramid of life, where humans are supposedly at the top, and like how we moralize other living beings, and like parasites are quite close to the bottom, like a tapeworm that maybe thinks it's like, I'm vibing, I'm like living my best life inside this human, is beautiful, but that no human actually would ever be happy for this tapeworm, because we can only have empathy for things that are closer to our species. So it's about like how like life always wants to thrive, and want beings in their species also to thrive, to build like communities. And this is not only a human thing, like plants, rats, all living beings just want to live more and want a better life. Like that's where the idea of the joyful parasite comes from. Like there is a parasite, it's just alive and living because it's what it's supposed to do. So there are some levels of the word that are very, very basic, and I thought to talk about transformation, what is like the most simple metaphor that I can think, even like a caterpillar, a chrysalid, and a butterfly. Even someone that is 5 years old will understand that, or 90, or coming from lots of places of the world, because there are butterflies basically everywhere. Also, well, if you look at the figures, like the caterpillar, to me is a she, and it can be seen as someone that is like overweight, but it's like flaunting it, and it's kind of like a bit like, you know, wearing all these like tights, like she's sexy. So to me that's like erotic. It has like an erotic force. It's like seductive and happy, right? And then it's the butterfly. Is to me is totally gender fluid, and they are naked, so it's kind of like very pure, a bit like performing as well. Like, I think they are like dancing, so yeah, to me that brings some of this erotic energy. And with this butterfly wing, from one side you see the mirror, from the other side you see the people taking a picture, which is even like a, well, it's not perverse, but maybe a bit perverse. Like this idea of surveillance and like social media, and like how when we look at others, we are also looking at ourselves. And I guess with the butterfly also, to me, it's like the piece that talks more about change, about transformation, and it's two figures, right? One is like in pain, but the other is almost like in the position of having an orgasm, or like being carried by like an invisible force, almost like floating like a mystical figure. This idea of the hybrid, half human, half something, and I guess it's this idea of the supernatural, that they belong to this world, but not fully. And if you think about the idea of the hybrid, they are intersectional beings as well that escape the confines of logic and language, because they are not like, how do you categorize these things? Because I don't like this idea of the binary. I think its way is too simplistic, and nothing ever is simple, so I like to make things complicated and make things cute and creepy. That it's like you want to hug them, but you are scared that they are going to kill you as well. In the show, there are like the flowers like of national identity, and they are a bit just like having a great time, but being in a privileged space and hanging from those chains that are also like spiky. They are used like a defense. They are used as boundaries and to like the limit areas. They are quite like well, like playful and like oblivious, no? And then at the bottom in the corner there are the weeds. I don't want to even call them weeds, but like these other plants that are like struggling and broken, but also thriving. And they seem like a bit neglected, but still they are flourishing. And to me, I think that's very important. Like the core idea is that there are the weeds and the symbols of national identity, but I think when you go to the show, there are plants. I'm fascinated by invasive species, but there is one that is actually from Spain, well, and also Asia, China, Rhododendron ponticum, that in Spain, because of climate change, is endangered. But here is one of like the top 3 or 4 invasive species. I find that really like poignant in a way, like how it's disappearing from their original habitat, but here is thriving. I think to me that's like a good example how in some places it's not suitable to live a happy life, but maybe in others it's really suitable. So yeah, here we have a rhododendron ponticum, in like sort of like the black and white Newcastle flag, which I'm very happy that the flag is those colors, because to me it looks a bit like a pirate's flag or something. It's quite cool.